Good morning, evening and afternoon, and welcome to part 59 of Aokana,蒼の彼方のフォーリズム. Last time we had quite an interesting episode, where we were at a point where how can I put this? We started off with an unknown factor. We don't know if anybody was going to the practice. We don't know where everybody else was. We couldn't get hold of Rika as well. So we had to make sure that everybody wasn't going to go to practice because it was raining. We went to the club room, found seemingly empty, and with no sign of Rika, he decided to go inside Masaya. And there he found Rika, drenched from the rain, and waiting the weather out. Kind of the scenario I kind of expected. It didn't fully go out as I had thought, but it did play out pretty well. I didn't quite feel too attached to the scene for some reason. I thought it was done pretty well, but it felt like, I think one of the issues I had was not knowing fully on how each character felt about each other before that moment. Obviously, as the viewer, we don't know what they're thinking, so it's just something minor. Anyway, they started with the conversation of how Masaya could tell Rika was forcing her mentality and her behavior to almost match Asuka's, to try and change the mood of the club. And it was quite interesting the way she did it and the way everything panned out, and how she was then changed to be more true to herself afterwards as well, thanks to Masaya, and how they both then really just put their feelings out there in a sense. They both confessed to each other, and it was an alright scene. Not, I wouldn't say great, but I didn't mind it. It wasn't bad. Then we went to the next day where they started practice again. Don't know if it's exactly the next day, but we just know it's the next practice session or training. There was a bit of a moment with Madoka, back and forth between them, which I always enjoy. Madoka reminds me of Sora from the 9 series. That little extra comedic factor in the story, which really lightens up the mood, I guess you could say. Then we had a bit of a feeling where it seems like Madoka doesn't know their kind of relationship, but she didn't specify it, so we'll have to wait and see. After that, we had a little talk. We seemed to have just met up with Shindo. I did mention last time that because we are using this background CG of the beach, we know we're at Masaya's training grounds and not Shindo's training grounds. So he's come over to us. Moving forward from now, I'm not too sure what to expect. We're going to be training for the camp, the winter or autumn tournament. That would be in about a week's time, I think. That's pretty soon. Other than that, I have to wait and see how everybody thinks about Masaya and Rika's relationship. Let's see what Shindo has to say right now. Shindo-san's smile is as charming as ever. You're here really early, Shindo-san. How's practice going? So I was expecting him.
連日ハードな練習ばかりで疲れるよ。日向くんの練習見学がいい息抜きだね。
Shindo-san seems to be enjoying this. I always had introduced Shindo-san to some foreign players who he's been practicing with lately. If he meshes well with them, he's going to head over to a school in Europe. and then he may even try playing on their pro circuit. That whole world is far beyond my grasp.
それで今日はどんなものを見せてくれるのかな?
You came at a good time. Look over there. I point and Shino-san gaze follows. Misaki and Rika have started practicing together over the water.
私がわざと下の位置でタッチされるから、リカちゃんはそこからさらにもう一回追い込んでね。はい、わかりました。じゃ、行くよ。
Misaki slants below Rika.
こちらも行きます。
However, Rika moves upward to Avedo. Then, the very moment there's a straight line between their positions,
それ
Rika instantly descends and touches Misaki's back.
キャーやられた
You can easily see how fake that sounds. Misaki lets out an exaggerated scream as she's sent flying toward the water.
そこでもう一度です。
Rika fights back against the recoil, then charges Misaki once more. Misaki is sent careening into the water as she starts swearing. Sorry, just 1 second. Hyo is more like just letting out a scream of oh no type thing, or just yeah, just kind of like letting out a fake scream, I guess you could say. So okay, sure, I can understand with the shit type thing with the English one. Sorry, I'm misclicking. I can understand with that type of thing, kind of, but I wouldn't really call it swearing. Whatever. Like, sure, whatever. The splash of water as Misaki goes under.
大丈夫ですか、美咲さん。大丈夫、大丈夫。ちゃんと受け身取ったよ。さ、じゃあもう一回行こっか。
So that's pretty good, interesting practice where you can see Rika is practicing offense, whereas obviously it looks like Misaki's just letting Rika do whatever she wants, but this can be used as practice for Misaki as well to practice defense. The two girls return to their previous positions. Shino-san looks impressed as he watches.
へえ、水シーダか。なるほどね。
Yeah, figured this would work wonders against Kurobuchi. We need something concrete to use when Kurobuchi tries one of her dirty tricks. Plus, Rika needs to better learn the moves an opponent may use in a match. So this kills two birds with one stone.
でもこれは君の心情には反する技だね。
It does, which is why I will only pull it out as a last resort. The Suishida is one of the most forceful moves in flying circus. It isn't illegal, but it's definitely on the dirtier side of things. I've seen Shino-san make use of it before, but I know he's careful about who he uses it on. I'm having someone else teach her in my place.
そこまで考えているんだ。
Who would teach this? Who would be able to teach that? Shirase? Or Aoi, I'm not too sure. Only two I can think of. Because I don't think SunaeVN would be able to. I'm not too sure though. Yep. Want to make it sound like I'm convinced, but I'm really not. I just arrived at this answer after considering what Rika wants to be. So of course, there's no way I'm totally sure it's the right decision.
今僕が見てるだけでも彼女は間違いなく変わったよ。
Shino-san says that as he nods.
なんというか、自然になったよ。すごく。動きも考え方もね。
You picked up on that too, Shino-san.
その言い方だと、 僕以外にもそう感じた人がいたということか。
Yes.
なら、さらに確信を持ってそう言えるんじゃないかな。
Honestly, I'm still not sure exactly what's different. I've heard Rika's innermost thoughts, so I have a different opinion on this matter than anyone else. Shino-san knows her well, but even he doesn't have this information, so there's no way we're seeing the same thing. Maybe Rika's still in the process of changing. She's begun to strip off the role she had when she first arrived. Now all that's left is to help her find something new.
本当ですか？
Yeah, I do. Shino-san said he thinks you've changed. Rika looks delighted when I report the news to her.
そうですか。進藤先輩がそう言ってくださったんですね。
In a way, Shino-san is Rika's role model, and I'm sure other people at Takafuji like Satoin-san feel the exact same way. He did win the nationals. He's always been friendly with me, but now that I think about it, it kind of feels like I've been in the presence of royalty this whole time. That simple, positive view he shared will probably inspire Rika to travel to new heights.
にしてもさっきのスイシーダー、あれをタイミング悪くやられたら確かにきついよね。
Yeah, it's real painful.
黒渕さんに使わせないようにしないとですね。
Right. Why don't we start considering positioning for our next practice? I've just barely managed to fit in the more technical aspects of flying circus matches in our practice, alongside the normal stuff. The Kurobuchi incident kind of ruined our schedule, but Rika's helped repair it. Seems like Rika's had something on her mind this whole time. Better ask her about it later. Okay, let's call it a day. See you all back here tomorrow.
はーい。スイシーダーを覚えていればラフプレイを防げますよね。
That's the idea. It's not perfect, but it should help.
はい。これを積み重ねていって黒渕さんへの対抗策を磨きます。
Yeah. The first thing I did was teach her how to counter the dirty techniques Kurobuchi likes to use, like pincers and suishida. And as a result, Rika started to come up with plans of her own. It's a pretty great sign, since it shows how much she's grown. She's going to need actual practical experience to keep improving though. That means I need to find her a truly strong opponent. Good thing I've already come up with plans for that scenario. I just hope I can get all this across to Rika. And I hope I've done a good enough job.
マサヤさん、今日はもう部活は終わりですよね。
Yeah, everyone's gone home. It's been about 2 hours since Misaki and the others left the clubroom. Wow, that long? Okay. No one's showed any signs of returning, so the two of us are completely alone.
じゃあ、1時間だけいいですか？
There are certain rules I've maintained since we started dating. One of these is not going any further than kissing. Another is not flirting anywhere that might draw attention. Both of those make sense in my mind, since I don't want anyone complaining that we're too distracted. But my sense of reason is on the verge of collapse. I'm having a hard time controlling myself with such an adorable girl by my side.
マサヤさん。
And she's not trying to stop me either. Rika's so proactive during our time alone that I can barely believe she's diligent during practice. Though I guess the word diligence probably takes on different meaning when it comes to love.
まさやさん、ここ触ってもいいですか?
Rika points at my thighs. Sure, but you know what you're doing, right?
はい、もちろんです。触っていいのはここだけですね。
Rika stretches a dainty hand towards my thighs.
じゃあ、触ります。
She proceeds to gently stroke my thigh. Rika is simply touching me, nothing more. She started with my hair, then moved to my limbs and then various parts of my torso. For her, it's a simple expression of love, but I feel like I'm being... Really? Okay, I don't think there's the exact same term, obviously. That's definitely an English term. Something I don't quite like, but sure. My thighs, she's right by the danger zone. Sorry for this. Okay, interesting enough with the Japanese thighs at about 5 inches. She's near a dangerous place, 5 inches away. Is she doing this on purpose?
もうちょっとだけ触らせてくださいね。
She doesn't let up. So I'm not doing those, but sure.
まさやさんの体、すごくあったかいです。
So I don't know if he's extremely sensitive for her when he's just touching the body, that he's just doing this. Because even just from the torso itself, he starts doing that. Oh wait, no. Okay, then she's already moved over. Okay, never mind. Right, okay, never mind. It's evening and my parents aren't home. We chose to hang out here at this time because it's a golden opportunity. Then, as we were talking, we somehow found ourselves lying down next to each other on my bed, our bodies pressed tightly against each other. And yet, I still haven't done anything. Man, I must have nerves of steel.
胸のところ、筋肉がすごいんですね。
Rika, you should probably be more careful.
大丈夫ですよ。絶対に変なところは触りませんから。
As she says that, she repeatedly moves her hand toward and away from the center of my chest. I feel my heart beating faster every time she does. Holy shit, that can't be happening. Okay, interestingly enough, the Japanese as well is like, yabai, 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 yabai. It's like, oh no, no, type of thing, like... It's panicking in a sense. Okay. Goes without saying that the strange places she mentions are my nipples. Okay. I'm sure, hopefully that should be a word I should be fine with. Wonder. She better not touch those or go from 0 to 100 real quick. Really? I don't know what I'm reading, honestly. Okay.
なんだかずっと触ってても飽きないです。
Rika's hands move incessantly as her legs, which are entangled with mine, wriggle at a teasingly slow pace. She probably doesn't realize, but every single one of her movements is getting a rise out of me.
まさやさん、大好きです。
I mentioned it last time, the differences between ski and daisuki. Here she uses a daisuki again, which does show a lot more emphasis on the love itself. That strong love. Oh, that sounds so hard. Okay. Sorry if I keep going back and forward, but... I can't read that, but I know that's voice. そしてこの声と... It looks such a simple kanji, but I can't read it. It's something to do with the voice itself, specifically mentioning about the voice. But obviously, that's something similar as well here, but it doesn't feel for me. Is she trying to torture me here? Because if so, she deserves an Oscar for this little performance.
もう一度触りますね。
She does it without even waiting for a reply. It's quite a build-up for something that's happened in the past. I'm sorry, what? Okay, it's the exact same thing in Japanese, but it just makes me feel like he's the little... Okay, anyway. Why do I have to deal with this all the time? I'll just tell her. I love Rika, of course, but I've sure come to realize how powerful and terrifying love can be. We haven't even done anything yet, but she won't stop acting like this. How's she gonna act after we spice things up? Even thinking about that has me sweating. Rika-san?
はい、わかってます。まさやさんの言いたいことは。
Rika answers before I can actually question her.
この前から何度こうしてるんだとか、いくらなんでもイチャイチャしすぎだろうとか。
I think that what they're referring to here more is about the flirting itself as being going too far. Icha icha is that's what it's referring to. Yeah, if you know that,
でも、ごめんなさい。私、まさやさんと今すごくギューってしたいんです。
yeah, I was expecting that word there, gyu, it's like, it's an onomatopoeia for like hugging, like squeezing tightly. Shit. That kuso. I know, yabai na. Like, it's not, that's dangerous. Something inside me just snapped.
ごめんなさい。
Rika's diligent sigh makes her apologize as she locks the clubroom door.
甘えさせてください。
To me, that almost sounds like, sorry, let me just say it in Japanese again.
甘えさせてください。
Yeah, that does sound right there. The whole to me, like... Okay. After saying that, she sits down next to me and leans her body into mine. I feel like it's going to head to the first scene soon. Let's see. Her hands wrap around my back, leaving us pressed tightly together. Rika's real innocent at times like this. I swear, she's nothing like her normal self when she wants to do anything remotely romantic. One of her hands traces the nape on my neck. I reach out a hand immediately, unable to hold myself back as she touches me. Hey, that tickles, Rika. It's sending shivers down my spine. She must sense something in my reluctant attitude, since she's suddenly a lot more assertive. She smells so sweet and she's right next to me.
マサヤさん。
Did he do something now? What is it?
今日はちょっといつもと雰囲気が違う気がします。
Here, Fuinki is more like the atmosphere, the mood itself. Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. Rika shuffles away from me slightly.
何か理由があるわけじゃないんですけど、私たち付き合ってるんだなって実感します。マサヤさん？
Yeah, agreed. I'm lying through my teeth here. For whatever reason, my actual thoughts right now are pretty damn dirty. Okay. So if I keep doing this, like going back and forth between it, I just like to know sometimes if what they're doing in the English is what I believe is the same in Japanese or not. And it's not hard to feel guilty about that when Rika comes off as being so innocent.
不思議です。
Rika looks up the ceiling and she says that, apparently meaning it from the bottom of her heart.
ついこの間まで顔を合わせるだけでもちょっと警戒していた人なのに。
Well, I did leave a pretty bad first impression. Not sure if it could have even been worse. It's still a miracle that we ended up with each other after all that. Should I be thanking God or cursing him for his seemingly fickle temperament? I think on a personal level, I'm grateful, since I've got such a cute girlfriend now. Are you happy about this strange situation, Rika?
マサヤさん？
Okay, so I thought that was in his head for a second. Rika looks offended by my question.
そんな答えの分かってる質問するのよくないですよ。
Huh? Rika leans into me once more.
嬉しいに決まってるじゃないですか。
Then she rubs her cheek against my chest. She's crying again, or no, is shrieking. I don't know how to really word that. In a sense, what to say, what that reaction is. She's just so damn adorable that I can't help but groan. Okay, you answered for me, but groan? Really? Okay. I feel like my desire for Rika is slowly overwhelming me.
私がどれだけマサヤさんのことが大好きなのかもう言いました。
Yeah, you're right. I remember it clearly. Still, it's something I wanted to hear her say again and again.
分かってるならそんなことは言わないでください。
Okay, my bad.
私はいつだってマサヤさんが大好きです。
I love you is such a powerful phrase. No matter how many times I hear it, I always feel like I've been struck by a bolt of lightning. It's almost like a powerful curse, but not one I want lifted. Curse is... I don't know... I gotta see if they use the right same word or not. Wait, which line was it again? Sorry if I'm doing this, I just want to see. Yes, this is the second line that uses it. Nah, I can't read that kanji. It's not omoi. Kurakito. I feel like it's not saying the same thing, but I might be wrong. The reason why I'm feeling like it's not curse was, to me, curse is quite a negative word. Even if she's trying to say it in a positive way, I still don't feel like it's the right way of wording it. Anyway, I want to be with you forever, Rika.
私もです。
So, I want us to get a lot closer, if that's okay with you.
マサヤさん。
Rika. Rika goes bright red, but continues to look me straight in the eyes. Guess she was expecting this. Well, I mean, she did lock the door.
はい。
She gives me a resolute response, then presses her lips against mine. Unable to hold back, Rika reaches out and starts clinging to me. And so we continue this exchange of kisses for what seemed like an eternity.
これ。
It's not like I actually don't know what she means. And we will stop there for today. Mainly, big, obvious reason. I did go to the next line, which paints the next coming scene quite painstakingly obvious. And obviously I don't want it to really have it be on screen as well, just in case something does happen. Anyway, so this episode was alright. Learned a bit more about the flying circus, about how they're planning on teaching, about how they plan on moving forward. Offense, defense against Kurobuchi. He didn't mention who he's using as a means of teaching Tsushida. So I'm pretty sure he did mention that he's getting help from somebody in regards to that specifically. I don't think he was talking about Misaki, or was he? I'm not too sure. Yeah. In terms of the practice, everything seems fine. Afterwards, there was just Rika and Masaya alone. I don't get the 2-hour difference. Like, sure, they could have their own like training things, like discussing what they can do, what they can improve on, a little thing like that. They do a lot of other talking and doing things, but 2 hours is quite a big amount of time gap. So, apart from that gap, we had that little flashback of also between Rika and Masaya alone. There were a bit of things here and there that also didn't feel great. I'm quite surprised that Masaya is quite sensitive, I guess you could call it. I wouldn't have really thought about that of him. Them trying to keep a distance in a sense does make sense in a sense. I actually can agree with that. But then the same thing here. Sure, there was a bit of stimulation and change in the mood, I guess you could say, the atmosphere, which would lead to the next scene, I would guess. But it just seemed flimsy, their promise. Or I guess it wasn't really a promise, but what they were saying. I'm just thinking now. I don't know, it's just some of the word choices. And and sentences did feel a bit off today. It made me want to think, what did they say in Japanese, or did they really say that, or was it done differently, or there was just too many of that today, I felt. But anyway, yeah, so I'm expecting that scene to be next. In regards to that scene, I have been, in the beginning of the channel, placing those scenes on Patreon. But I did end up stopping halfway through the 9th series. I don't know if I'm going to... I'm obviously going to keep these scenes still recorded and up and about. But until I see a bit of need, I guess you could say, or want, to see in terms of like reactions and things like that, I'm gonna keep them on the side for now. And when I do find the extra time or motivation, I guess you could say, to put them all up there, I will do so. But other than that, if there's anything major or anything worthy of mentioning, I will normally say so after the scene. So there isn't anything like majorly missing out in a sense. So yeah, I'm expecting a little bit of a skip after this, on this episode and into the next one. And that is mainly due to the scene being there. Something you obviously can't put on YouTube. So, yeah. I'm interested to see how her character is. I have noticed in a lot of series that characters tend to develop quite differently from what they are viewed, I could say. When it comes to those types of scenes, a good example to me is it's been a while, I can't remember her name. Okay. The third main heroine from the 9th series, short black hair. It's really killing me that I can't remember her name. One of my more favorite characters. Anyway, she had quite a difference in character, I guess you could say. Anyway, it makes me think of how will this change before and after. But anyway, that will be it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please let me know what you thought, and I'll see you all next time.